Is anxiety quietly destroying your focus, even on days you sleep well, eat clean, and do everything right? You set your alarm, you had a good breakfast, you sat down to work, and then nothing. Your brain locked up. Sound familiar? If your mind goes completely blank the moment you actually need to think, stay with me. Because what's happening inside your nervous system is not random, and it's not your fault. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why and what to do about it starting today. We are living through what researchers are now calling a dual epidemic. Anxiety is at an all-time high, and so is what scientists call attentional collapse, the inability to hold focused thought for more than a few minutes before the brain drifts, panics, or shuts down entirely. A 2025 global mental wellness report found that over 58% of working adults reported chronic difficulty concentrating. Not because of laziness, not because of low intelligence, but because of sustained, low-grade anxiety running like a background program they can never close. And the worst part, most people have no idea that anxiety is the root cause. They blame themselves for being distracted, unfocused, or not trying hard enough. But the issue is neurological, not personal. Think of it like this. Your brain is a browser, and anxiety is the one tab that never closes. It keeps running, eating up RAM, slowing everything else down. No matter how many productivity apps or planners you try, that one tab stays open. That tab is your threat detection system, and in 2026, it is permanently overloaded. Every notification, every news headline, every unread email is engineered to pull that system toward high alert. Most of us have been running in high alert so long, it feels like our baseline. That is not who you are. Here's what you'll walk away with today. 3 concrete, science-backed brain hacks to calm anxiety, just enough to let your thinking brain come back online. You don't need to eliminate anxiety. You don't need to meditate for an hour. You just need to turn down the volume enough to get 1 solid hour of real, focused work done. That is more achievable than you think. Before we go further, drop a comment right now. What is your #1 focus killer? Is it overthinking, social media, or performance pressure? That suffocating feeling that what you're about to do has to be perfect before you even start. Comment below. Your answer might shape the next video in this series. Calm the alarm system. Let's start at the source. Here's what's actually happening in your brain when anxiety kills your focus, and it begins in a small, almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. The amygdala is your brain's threat detector. It evolved over millions of years to keep you alive in dangerous environments. Hear a predator, amygdala fires. Smell smoke, amygdala fires. Feel social rejection, amygdala fires. In the modern world, where emails, deadlines, notifications, and financial stress never fully stop, your amygdala fires on a constant low simmer all day long, every single day. When the amygdala activates, it triggers your fight or flight response. Cortisol and adrenaline flood your system. Blood flow is rerouted away from your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning, decision-making, and focused thought, and toward your muscles and survival systems. Your brain, in survival mode, does not want you to write that report. It wants you to run or fight, and it does not care that neither option is appropriate in a Zoom meeting. What does this feel like from the inside? Racing thoughts that loop without resolution, physical tightness in the chest, the jaw, the shoulders, that blank brain experience where you stare at a screen and genuinely cannot form a useful thought, like someone unplugged your rotor. Some people call it mental static. Others say it feels like fog they cannot push through no matter how hard they try. Have you ever noticed your breathing change the moment you sit down to do something high stakes? That shift is your amygdala talking, and your breath is the fastest, most direct way to interrupt that signal. Your autonomic nervous system has 2 lanes: the sympathetic, fight or flight, cortisol, elevated heart rate, and the parasympathetic, calm, rest, clarity. Your exhale activates the parasympathetic lane. When you exhale slowly, your heart rate drops. Your vagus nerve signals the brainstem that you are safe, and your prefrontal cortex starts coming back online. Stanford neuroscientist Andrew Huberman has studied a technique called the physiological sigh. Inhale through your nose, take a short second inhale on top, almost like a quick sniff, to fully inflate your lungs, then exhale slowly and completely through your mouth. 2 or 3 rounds of this, and measurable changes in heart rate variability begin. The amygdala quiets, focus improves. Try it right now. Inhale, short second inhale, long, slow exhale through your mouth. Notice what shifts in your chest and your jaw. The goal is not to eliminate anxiety. In small doses, anxiety actually sharpens performance. The goal is to turn it down just enough for your thinking brain to operate. Your breath is the volume knob, always available, always free. Body offload, somatic release. Anxiety doesn't just live in your mind, it lives in your body. There's a growing movement in clinical psychology around somatic stress release. Body-based techniques that discharge the physical tension anxiety leaves behind. The core idea: when your nervous system activates a stress response, that response is meant to end in physical movement. Think of how an animal shakes its whole body after escaping a predator. That shaking is the nervous system discharging built-up stress hormones. The threat passes, the body moves, the system resets. Humans never get to do that. We sit at desks, swallow the stress, push through. Over time, that unresolved tension accumulates in the shoulders, neck, hips, jaw, and keeps feeding the anxiety loop even when there's no active threat. Let me tell you about someone I'll call Marcus, talented freelance designer. Every afternoon around 2 p.m., his brain would crash. He'd open his project files, and within 10 minutes he'd be scrolling his phone, not because he wanted to, but because his brain was looking for any escape from the pressure it was holding. He tried timers, coffee, music. Nothing lasted. Then he tried 60 seconds before his afternoon work block, shake his arms like flicking water off his hands, bounce lightly on his feet, tap his chest firmly with his fingertips, then one long exhale. Within days, his afternoon crash went from daily to rare. Not because his work changed, because his body stopped storing unprocessed stress. Here's the protocol. Stand up, shake your arms from the shoulder down, loose hands 20 to 30 seconds, bounce lightly on your feet or shake your legs if seated. Tap the center of your chest 5 to 10 times with your fingertips. One full, open-mouth exhale. 90 seconds total. This interrupts the holding pattern your muscles are locked into and signals your nervous system that the threat has passed. Tension is literally fuel for anxiety. Release the body, change the signal. Do you currently do anything physical when your mind starts spinning? Even just walking to the kitchen, stepping outside for 30 seconds, or rolling your neck? If so, you've already discovered this instinctively. Now you have a protocol that maximizes it. Focus window method. Here's one of the most damaging myths in productivity culture. To perform at a high level, you need to focus for 2, 3, 4 hours straight. For an anxious brain, this expectation is actively harmful. When you sit down to focus for 2 hours, you're also negotiating with every anxious thought that arrives. What if I do it wrong? What if it's not good enough? What if something more urgent comes up? Each thought is a small amygdala activation, pulling resources from your prefrontal cortex. Over a long block, those activations accumulate until the brain crashes. Long focus blocks fail anxious brains, not because you're weak, but because the longer the session, the more opportunities the threat detection system has to fire. The focus window method solves this. It's grounded in research on cognitive load and ultradian rhythms, the natural cycles your brain moves through between high alert and low alert states. Within those cycles, there are shorter windows, typically 10 to 20 minutes, where your prefrontal cortex is most ready to engage. A focus window, pick one task, set a timer for 10 to 20 minutes, phone in another room, sit with that one task until the timer ends. The threat feels manageable at 15 minutes. The amygdala doesn't fire the way it does at 3 hours. Every completed window tells your nervous system, I sat with a hard thing and I survived it. You produced something real, something solid. Over time, this builds attentional resilience. Research on attentional restoration consistently shows that shorter intentional task windows with defined breaks outperform long, unbroken sessions for both output quality and anxiety levels. What is the one task you'll try in your first focus window today? Drop it in the comments right now. Daily Protocol plus NeuroSharp Bridge. Now let's build a daily protocol. 3 steps under 5 minutes total before your first work block. Step 1. 2 to 3 minutes of the physiological sigh before you open your laptop or check your phone. This shifts your nervous system before the day hits. Step 2. 60 to 90 seconds of somatic release. Shake out, tap your chest, exhale. Clear the tension you're carrying into this moment. Step 3. Open your first focus window. One task, one timer, phone away. When it ends, 2-minute micro reset. Walk, look out a window, get water. Then open the next window if needed. This is emotional fitness, not perfect days, not dramatic transformation, just consistent small acts of nervous system regulation stacked over time. Every breath reset is a rep. Every somatic release is a rep. Every focus window is a rep. Over weeks, your baseline shifts, focus comes online faster, and anxiety loses its grip. Now, sometimes, even with all of this, your brain still feels foggy. You're doing the work and there's still a persistent gap in mental energy or memory. That may be a nutritional question. Focus and clarity depend on neurotransmitters. Dopamine, acetylcholine, GABA, built from raw materials your brain gets through nutrition. High stress, processed food, and sleep debt create real gaps that habits alone can't always close. NeuroSharp is formulated to support memory, mental energy, and focus as an additional layer. Not a replacement for these habits, but a complement when you need that extra edge. Link is in the description if you want to see if it makes sense for you. 3 things before you go. First, download the free Brain Focus Mastery ebook in the description. Written scripts for all 3 brain hacks, a full daily focus protocol, and morning, midday, and evening reset templates. Completely free. Second, if you want extra support for memory and mental clarity, check out NeuroSharp in the description. Third, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. The next video in this series covers sleep quality and amygdala reactivity, and why fixing one specific sleep habit can reduce your anxiety level within days. You do not want to miss that one. On the end screen, vote in the poll. What destroys your focus most? Anxiety and racing thoughts, your phone and social media, or mental fatigue? And in the comments, drop your #1 focus trigger, just one thing. The more specific you are, the more targeted I can make the next video. Your brain is not broken. It's responding to a world it was never designed for. With the right tools and a little grace for yourself, it can learn to work with you again. See you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.